the current prime minister, the cabinet, they used to talk to him. He was the driving force because the vision actually, the Japan, he said, we need, especially when it comes to India Japan relation, he said, we need strong India and we need strong Japan, both, to have, especially to have the peace in, especially in Asia and in the world. So that vision he had since the very beginning, and he made sure that India Japan relation is becoming the strongest, and the bond is becoming more stronger than ever. So as you know, the Quad was his brainchild. I felt personally that he really loved he gave his 100% to Bharat, to Dharma, to make these two countries closer than before. And when you're making these two countries closer than before, you are subconsciously, you're indirectly helping to Dharma to flourish. You
Hmm.
know, so, as I mentioned before, also he came to India. He did the Ganga Aarti. He took Prime Minister Modi to his house. Everything is so connected. It's like heart. They're like heart to heart
Hmm.
connection. And he took so many decisions when it comes to India. The Japan is going to invest $42 billion in India. Like such a big decision. So many other project also he started in India. So I feel like everything, his each and every decision is just the contribution helped Dharma to flourish,
Hmm.
because when Bharat flourishes, Dharma flourishes. He was a visionary leader, and this the that void is created, that is already the shunya, that is there. It cannot be replaced by anyone. And the leaders, today's leaders, the Japanese, that they are going to feel that void as well. They will miss him terribly. But the Japanese culture is samurai culture. The spirit is always there. Like they say in Japanese, "Gambari maso, maemuki." So "Gambari maso" means maemuki means let's move on, let's do the best, let's contribute. So I think that spirit definitely will help them to take his legacy forward. I think he nobody can replace him, but his legacy, they will take his legacy forward. That I think that will happen. And Japan always, if you go back to Japanese history, even after Second World War, when they lost everything, but the spirit, that spirit which actually helped them to build today's Japan.
Namaste and welcome to Chitti Media's Current Affairs show. My name is Payal Patel. I am your host, and we have a very special guest with us today. Her name is Nupur Tewari ji, often known as the unofficial ambassador of India to Japan.
Namaste.
Namaste, Nupur ji. Well and
Namaste.
welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
So, before we start, I would like to give our heartfelt condolences to Shinzo Abeji's family and to Japan on behalf of Chitti Media and India. So, my first question: what do we know about the assassination of Shinzo Abeji and the motives? Is it true that there is a potential CCP link? Also, it appears the Japanese media is whitewashing it and are not even calling it an assassination. What are your thoughts on why this may be?
So, Payal ji, first of all, thank you so much for having me today. And and I feel really sad and sorry that the subject we're talking about today, it shouldn't have happened, and we wouldn't have talked about it. the thing happened yesterday. It is just so sad that it totally the brutal thing, and the whole world is in pain, I think, and especially the people in Japan and his family, and the people like us who have been living in Japan from a long time and are very close to um, Abe-san, so Mr. Abe. So the question, when your question is quite right. Maybe the Japanese media not telling the truth. Maybe they are telling the truth. I don't know. I cannot comment on that. What they are thinking and from which perspective. They want people to know about the truth, or they maybe they are not revealing the truth. Whatever it is, just I want to go back to the real culture of Japan. The Japanese culture is very polite. Japanese culture is all about forgiveness. Japanese culture is not using rude words. So if you know, Japan is, the whole culture. It's not about the about this case. It's they want everything. The packaging should be beautiful. If you know the Japanese product, especially small product, the way they make it. Why I'm talking about small product? Because everything aesthetic sense should be there. If you visit Japan, the cleanliness, the flowers, the even origami, like each and everything, you will find so much beauty. So they don't want negativity in their society. So you may call it that they're just whitewashing, or they don't want to reveal the truth, or they don't want people to know what really happened. Maybe since I myself don't know the truth yet, so it won't be appropriate for me to say anything here. But this is in their culture. This is Japanese culture, to see good in everything. So I think if they are not calling it, it is an assassination, either they are not sure about it, or they don't want people to call it an assassination. And that is my answer on that question. Otherwise I would not be very much to real uh, judge. If I judge the media, or if I judge the culture, that won't be very appropriate here. So I feel that that is my answer, that this is their culture and we don't know the truth yet.
That's a very respectful answer.
Thank you.
So, my next question, for the uninitiated, what was Abeji's legacy? What did he stand for?
So the Abe-ji, Abe-san in Japanese is Abe-san, and in India definitely Abe-ji. So Abe-san was definitely a visionary leader, a Japanese leader who was born to lead, like the longest period of time he was the prime minister. And definitely he resigned because of his health. And as you know, the Japanese system, I think it is very much unexpected for other countries that one prime minister is resigning, or before also he did. And many other prime minister also did. So this is Japanese system, that if you feel you are not giving your 100%, or you cannot work well and doing justice to your post, so they do resign. So this is also Japanese culture. So though he definitely he resigned, but he served Japan so efficiently. He was not the prime minister, but he was definitely he's everything, the policy making, everything. The current prime minister, the cabinet, they used to talk to him. He was the driving force, because the vision actually the Japan, he said, we need, especially when it comes to India Japan relation, he said we need strong India and we need strong Japan, both, to have, especially to have the peace. especially in Asia and in the world. So that vision he had since the very beginning, and he made sure that India-Japan relation is becoming the strongest, and the bond is becoming more stronger than ever. So, as you know, the Quad was his brainchild. Definitely, he started Quad, and Quad was taking a very slow step. But as you saw that Quad, this recent in May, the four countries came together in Tokyo. They had a meeting. They took a lot of important decision about the world. So everything, in everything, every decision what Japan was taking, he was there. Definitely, the people, the cabinet used to talk to him, because his experience as a prime minister, his experience as a leader, his experience as a visionary, it's just too what should I say, it's just too great for the world and for Japan, definitely. So his legacy is something we nobody can replace, nobody can replace him. It will stay, and we will miss him. The Japan is, I think, there are definitely many great leaders in Japan, but still I feel the void he is already created. uh, it will take time. It will take time to people to feel without him how they can really think about other things, like which he was the kind of backbone. He used to be like support for everyone. How without him they will proceed? Definitely, that is a challenge. I personally feel it is for the current cabinet, and for the they're going to have the election also in Japan, and he was campaigning for that. So I feel it is going to be a challenge for the current leaders in Japan. So he is not replaceable at all.
Is there anything else you'd like to explain about his key milestones and achievements over his political career?
So since I'm an Indian, you are definitely, this is about Indian media mostly. So I would like to emphasize on India-Japan relation. So when the India and Japan always had good relations since the very beginning. Definitely, we are not only that recent time we have become friends. No, it's not. Like thousands of years ago, through our spirituality, we are connected. Thousands of years, even before Buddhism, you'll find like so many deities, or almost all deities are there in Japan, and they have their Japanese name, and Japanese worship them. It started before Buddhism. So our connection is not today's connection, thousands of years ago. But the connection, though we had the connection, though we had the spiritual connection, but the connect between people to people connect, these were not there. So close but so far we were. Actually, India Japan, we were so close spiritually, but when it comes to the business, when it comes to the people to people connect, those were really very far. So here, even after independence also, there are many prime minister, they came to Japan. Japanese prime minister, our prime minister also went to India. But the revolution started when the Mr. Modi and Mr. Abe, they became friends. Even as you can see that Mr. Modi also wrote heartfelt condolences. Such a great article it is. And I think we all lost, but he also lost a great friend, personal friendship he had. So, and the India-Japan relation flourished because of Mr. Abe, because Mr. Abe was a visionary leader. He thought we have to make India stronger than ever. Because if India is not strong, then the China can do anything here in this region. So that was his vision, to empower India more. And on that job, definitely Modi-san and Abe-san became the great friends. And the Mr. Modi's visit several times in Japan. Mr. Abe came to India, and as you know, he did the Ganga Aarti and many other things, actually, which other leaders really didn't know. did not do before. And he did very spiritually, he participated. You can see that so much bhakti is there, that the way he has been doing, he did all those things. Then Mr. Modi also went to Japan, and Mr. Abe invited him to his another house, which is called besso in Japanese. Besso means the another house, another separate house, which is very rare. The Japanese culture really, it does not permit a guest to take their to their besso, the another house. But their relation, they had like different degree to their relation. They took it to some another level, and he was there. So I feel that especially the India Japan relation, it flourished like never before. It became when it comes to business, people to people connection, culture, the culture exchange, everything. The Japan was there, all the support they gave to India when it comes to Delhi Metro, the Shinkansen, like the bullet train project, many other projects Japan is supporting India. And so I feel that these things which Mr. Abe started, definitely they are not going to stop. Of course not, because what he started and it will go on. But that vision, that the breach which he started, I think we needed him more. We needed him more for that, to take it to the another level. So it but unfortunately and unexpectedly, we lost him. It is a big loss for the world, not only Japan, and especially for India. We lost a great friend of India. We lost such a great human being. It was his vision was to make India Japan the strongest, the relation strongest ever. So I feel that he's definitely in Japan. He has a lot of contribution, especially the COVID time, the way he controlled everything, the way he supported the business, the way the way he managed things. Definitely it his contribution is never ending, like the way he did. But the India, I would like to emphasize India Japan relation. It flourished like never before, and we needed him. We definitely needed him. So it's a big loss for all of us.
We have a lot to be grateful um, for him.
Yes.
So, is there anything more you'd like to add about his love for Bharat and Dharma?
So whenever the India is, that coming India Japan Association, there is anything is related to India, he's always there. This time also, Mr. Modi, he was not prime minister, but Mr. Modi visited. He came to see him, and he to the hotel. And so his love for Bharat and love for Dharma. When you're loving Bharat, it means you're loving Dharma, because Bharat is all about Dharma. So his love for Dharma is was really, what should I say, without even thinking twice, he took decision
Mm,
that we have to be more connected. And that is not only because of his interest, Japanese interest, because of his interest in India, his interest in Dharma. So it was, I felt personally that he really loved he gave his 100% to Bharat, to Dharma, to make these two countries closer than before. And when you're making these two countries closer than before, you are subconsciously, you're indirectly helping to Dharma to flourish, you
mm,
know so, as I mentioned before, also he came to India. He did the Ganga Aarti. He took Prime Minister Modi to his house. Everything is so connected. It's like heart. They're like heart to heart
mm,
connection. And he took so many decisions when it comes to India. The Japan is going to invest $42 billion in India. Like such a big decision. So many other project also he started in India. So I feel like everything, his each and every decision is just the contribution helped Dharma to flourish, because when Bharat flourishes, Dharma flourishes. Yeah.
So, your what is Modi ji's contribution? Because, like you're explaining, it seems like they were like brothers. They had a very close rapport. So, because of that rapport, do you think Abeji had more interest in Bharat? Or do you think it could have been any prime minister and he would have had the same interest?
No, indeed, it is Modiji's charm and Modiji's, the connection with Mr. Abe, Abe-san. I think definitely before Modiji also, Dr. Manmohan Singh was there. They had, I don't, I'm not saying they didn't have good relation. Of course, they had wonderful relation, but the charm Modiji has, which connected them like brothers. The charm. It's like, it's not like you are respecting someone. When it comes to someone older than you, you're respecting. You're just, giving the place and you're talking to them. It's like when both of them, Mr. Abe and Mr. Modi, met. They're like a meeting. The brothers are meeting. You know, great friends, school friends, our primary school friends are meeting, like hugging each other, talking to each other, patting each other's back, kind of let's do it. I think that connection helped India Japan relation, the bond flourish more, I guess. I and it is a different relation altogether. It's not like leader to leader relation. It's when they're meeting, they're hugging, they're just talking, they're going places, they're inviting each other to their countries, they're doing Ganga Arati, they're Mr. Abe is taking him to the Bisho and other things too. And whenever they are meeting, they're meeting like, hey, we missed you, kind of, that feeling is there. So I feel like, yes, we always had great relation with India. With Japan had always great relation with India, but yeah, under Mr. Modi's leadership, it became, a different level. They both took it to the different level, like the best friends ever. So yes, you can say that. Yeah, it happened because of Mr. Modi's charm, or his charm. They just connected spiritually as well.
How beautiful. So, my final question: what impact will his sad departure have on Japanese politics?
Uh, this is actually a very crucial question, though. As I said, this is a void created, which, like, nobody can replace him. Definitely, we will. Japan has many great leaders. I'm not saying Japan doesn't have. Definitely, there are many great leaders, but Mr. Abe was a visionary. He saw things like long before when he started Quad. It was his brainchild. He could see that what could happen in future. He could see that if India is not the strongest, then what can happen in this region. He could see that Japan and India should be closer than ever. So that those vision actually, not today's, not like after 2014. He started quad before that. So it is he was a visionary leader, and this the that void is created, that is already the shunya, that is there. It cannot be replaced by anyone. And the leaders, today's leaders, the Japanese leader, they're going to feel that void as well. They will miss him terribly. But the Japanese culture is samurai culture. The spirit is always there. Like they say in Japanese, "Gambari maso, maemuki." So "Gambari maso" means maemuki means let's move on, let's do the best, let's contribute. So I think that spirit definitely will help them to take his legacy forward. I think he nobody can replace him, but his legacy, they will take his legacy forward. That I think that will happen. And Japan always, if you go back to Japanese history, even after Second World War, when they lost everything, but the spirit, that spirit which actually helped them to build today's Japan. And if I say, like, my many friends who are in their 70s, 80s, they say that after Second World War they didn't have food. They used to get only one banana when they used to get sick. The banana used to be even expensive fruit at that time. So even three times food they didn't have. So those days they had seen. Those days they did fight with hunger, but they never gave up. Even if you go back to 2011's tsunami, even just for one rice ball, they used to be in the queue, and but they were disciplined. They never said that because I'm hungry, so I'll go first and I'll take it. So the discipline, sense of or the sense of organization, of being organized, and as I say always, determination, devotion, and those things, they are so determined, and that actually makes them Japanese. That, yes, more gambarimasu, as I said, this is the thing. Let's cheer ourselves up and let's do things, let's build it up. So this spirit will definitely help them, that I'm sure about it. But the void is would be there. They will miss him terribly. But yes, the spirit will help them to take his legacy forward, and they will learn from past also, what he started, what he wanted to do, what actually they if he were there, what he would have done. They will thoroughly, they will research, they will study, so accordingly they will make decision, I'm sure about it. And the decision he took during his time, it would be, they will continue, and those legacy, they will take it forward, because Japanese, they didn't learn to give up. So I'm sure about that Japan will rise. Definitely Japan is rising. Japan is there. One of the best countries in the world. From my last 19 years experience, I can say that the best country I can imagine. Maybe you can call me biased, but yeah, the best country. If once you live in Japan, you cannot live in any other countries, because the peace there. After this incident, I can say that yes, people would say that how could you say that after this incident. But in last 19, or it is going to be 20 years, I can say that Japan is amazing. The people are amazing. They believe in forgiveness. They believe in taking things forward. They believe in the let's cheer ourselves up and let's rise together. That spirit definitely would be there. And Abe-san's legacy, these leaders, today's leaders, especially young leaders, they will take it forward, and we will see the Japan is. The decision Abe-san took between India, Japan, especially I would say the Quad, India, Japan, making Japan and India strongest. I think it is going to happen. Today's leaders, they will take this legacy definitely forward.
So beautifully explained, and a huge reminder of the amazing Japanese value system, which I always am in awe of as well. So that's it, Nupurji. Thank you so much for your valuable insights, and I'm sure Shinzo Abeji's legacy will live on.
Yes, I'm
Dhanyavad,
sure about it.
dhanyavad to the audience for listening. Please do subscribe to Chitti Media. Namaste to you all.
Thank you so much for having me, and namaste to everyone.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content and to support our work, please visit citti.net.